this. Wow. What's up, everybody? I'm Chris. This is B is for Build. Sorry I have to be a little bit quiet. People are still sleeping. I know what you're probably thinking, like, why are you in the back of some Econo box? That is because today I have to do a little bit of work on this, and I figured why not film it. It's part of what B is for Build, meaning me, is doing these days. What happens is my brother had a car and the transmission went out on it, and so he said, you know, can you hook me up? Can you give me a new, better car? And I said, of course, I'm good at this stuff. And turned out I failed a little bit. We got a car on auction and it didn't turn out as well as we thought. Now that's a common thing that will happen. You look in the photographs, if you don't go show up in person or you don't have time, you buy something spur of the moment, you don't get what you bargained for. So this car had a little bit more damage than we thought. Over the last week, in a couple days, I worked on pulling a little bit of the damage off and throwing some body parts on and fixing it up a little bit. So I just got a little bit of finish hackery to be done on this car, and then we can move this out of the driveway so we can pull up the new Plan B. B is for B is for Alright, so the story behind this car is that we wanted to get my brother a cheap car. They got good fuel economy and still had airbags, so it had safety. So what we did was we found this car. It had some rear quarter panel damage. It looked in the picture to be very light damage when we got it back, but when I went and picked it up, actually it turned out to be quite a bit of damage. So what I've done so far is I've separated the outer skin from the inner skin of the quarter panel, and I have bent the shit out of it, and now what we're going to do is attach it to the bumper in any way that's good enough that my brother can drive this car for a couple more weeks until he has time to take it down to the body shop. So the idea is kind of hack this car back together real quick. I'm going to test drive it. I'm going to do some safety checks on it. I've already test driven it a little bit, and I just want to make sure it's safe, that my brother's not going to die when he gets in this car, and we're going to get it to a point where he can use it for a little bit. So, you know, if you remember the road trip, kind of that point where car will probably drive across the country and back, but it's not going to look pretty. And then he'll drive it for a couple weeks before he can take it to a body shop and have the repairs professionally done. Wow, I can't talk this morning. So let's jump into that. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the point of impact. Basically, this car got hit by another car and crunched this whole part in, and it went in like that, and it blocked some of the wheel clearance, and that's why I had to do some work on this area. Plus, I figured, you know, if I could put a couple hours wrenching into it, it's a couple hours saved that the body shop won't have to do and my brother won't have to pay for. So we've got it to a point now where I've got a new gas lid, door lid on order. This seems to be operational and okay, and it seems to be watertight, funneling gas into the fuel tank. But what we have here is our bumper's kind of hanging out, and then this piece of metal is kind of hanging out. What we need to do is attach these two things firmly like this, and then this car should be good to go to get on the road. I got some paint, and I'll just throw a coat of paint on here to not draw too much attention. So what I wanted to try is quite a hack. Let me go grab the parts and then I'll show you what I want to try and do. Okay, so normally, I think everybody knows by now that I firmly believe that the best way to attach two body panels of a car is with zip ties. But this piece of metal has no edges, it has no bracket on it, it has no corners on it that I can loop a zip tie into. And I don't want to drill holes in it because that's just going to add money onto the body repair estimate. So basically I need to find a way to attach some zip ties to this or some bracketing to this, and then that way I can attach it to, you see here in my rear bumper, there's about, I don't know, 6 different loops that I can loop into. So this is something that I want to try. I've never tried before. And if it fails, then I got some backup. I got some brackets and I got my welder, and I'll pop it out and I'll just weld some stuff on the inside of this that could easily be ground off later. But what I want to try is 3M wall hangers. Yes, it feels as stupid as it sounds. Each one of these has 2 pounds of holding strength. And these are the ones you would use in your kitchen. You stick them to the wall, and they got a little metal hook that comes out of them, and you can hold stuff from them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be trying to take one, stick it on the inside of this so the hook is facing in here, loop a zip tie around the thing that I stuck in here and around the bumper, and then tighten down that zip tie and get this nice and tight. And if I can do that with 4 or 5 of these things, well, then that's 10 pounds of pressure that we can have. Anyways, I'm going to give this a shot. If it works, it's going to be something that's very interesting. And it's nice because it's a temporary fix that gets this car to the body shop without any problems. And I'm really curious to see how long they'll last. And at least that way I don't have to weld anything onto the body panel or do anything. Because, you know, when you're doing something like this, it's just like, could probably just leave it, but it'd be better to have it attached a little bit. And we're just going to the body shop with this car, so we really don't want to do too much permanent mods to it, or just damage is what the body shop would consider it. So, gonna try 3M stick 'em ups. I have prepped a couple of these 3M hooks, so this is what they look like, and this is gonna go on the inside like this, and then I'll put a zip tie around this metal part here, zip tying it to the bumper. So on the inside it'll have a series of these going in here that I'm zip tying around. Now the packaging says that you're not supposed to use these under temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is tough luck because stuff's still frozen here, so we got no choice on that. It also says to wait an hour before using these things. I don't know if that's realistic either, but oh well. So what I'm gonna try and do is get 3 of these on here. So I guess you're supposed to press them on and hold for 30 seconds. Wonderful. Interesting thing is I probably should have just welded this because I need to get a little welding practice before we get the BRZ in here. BRZ is going to need a new quarter panel, and that's going to have to be welded. But I'd rather practice on my own car instead of my brother's car. This metal's pretty thin and you can burn through your welds pretty fast, and I don't want to do that on his car. If you guys are wondering what's interesting stuff about this car, we got good miles per gallon. This car gets 40 miles to the gallon, so that'll match, I don't know, most people driving a Prius. And full airbag, full ABS, lots of good safety features. And we picked this car up for $3,100, all said and done. And then I haven't put any money into it after that. I did order a new bumper, which just came in about 10 minutes ago. So there is a bumper, but it won't be the right color, so I'm going to use this one for now. So after the bumper and the new gas cap and the body work, it'll probably be about $4,500. This is a 2013 with about, I don't know, 18,000 miles on it or something like that. So all said and done, under 5,000 bucks for this car. Now retail on these cars is not that much, but it's still a pretty good deal. With these clips, I have a feeling that the best way that they're going to be able to hold the most weight is just basically directly pulling like this against all of the surface of the stick. So I'm trying to get them on here as close as the angle will hold to where I'm pulling straight down on the most angle of the stickiness. Alright, they're all on. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to set up before I zip tie them together. Okay, the next step might look a little ridiculous, but what I got to do is I got to get up and under here, get my hands in and throw a couple zip ties around the loops in the bumper where the bracket's supposed to go. Safety glasses would be a really good idea for this. Clearly, since my hand is going up to the top, I could have came from the top down, but I need to make sure that these things hook. Alright, well, it hasn't been an hour, but it has been at least 5 minutes, and with something this dumb, I figure that's good enough. So I got zip ties around all these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten them down, and this is where coming in from underneath might help out a little bit. Basically, so behind here there's a hook, and then in here there's a notch in which I set the zip tie through. I'm just cinching these zip ties down, and there we have it. This is attached pretty firmly, actually. Let me grab the camera and show you guys an angle. There's probably next to no possibility of this thing focusing correctly, but there you have it. We got our zip ties on our 3M stick things that are meant to hold wall hangers, and they're holding that bumper in there. Now the next thing my brother requested, which was a stupid request because he actually does know me, is that, you know, the paint doesn't stand out or doesn't grab people's eye. So yes, that means it's time for me to do some painting. I am going to probably just take the tail light off, mask this area so I don't hit it with anything. I'm gonna grab my rattle can, I'm gonna blast this whole section, and well, don't hold your breath for a good outcome, because when B is for build and paint get together, nothing looks good. All right, the color we're going to be spraying today, I believe, is called Close Enough Blue by Krylon. Again, not supposed to do this in these temperatures, but it's all temporary. I taped up the rear diffuser thingy. Not even really a diffuser. It's just a piece of black plastic that I don't want to make blue. And I got the door open, so I won't overspray the door. Normally I'd have my respirator, but I can't find it. I think someone stole it. So if you got a respirator at home, use a respirator every time you paint. Make sure to wear eye protection. Although I already have blue eyes. Whoa, okay, all right. You know, that's probably just gonna draw more attention than it'll save at this point. What is it? Just to be safe, I'm gonna have to do a coat of this color. You know, we gotta protect all the metal spots so they don't rust. And they look hilarious. When I give this car back to my brother, I don't know if I should say you're welcome or I'm sorry. Right now that's I'm sorry blue. Okay, I'm gonna give this some time to dry, head out to the store and buy some paint that matches a little bit better. Okay, ran down to my favorite auto parts store and grabbed a color. This is actually a GM color, and we're on a Ford, but it does look a lot closer than this Smurf blue color that I ended up with. So let me grab my safety glasses. And the paint underneath has dried, so I'm going to give this a test spray. Wow, that's kind of bunk. It's already been sprayed. They sold me a used spray paint. Okay. Alright, looks like paint. Well, I can't say I'm surprised that it would have possibly gotten worse. What I think happened is paint underneath wasn't completely dry. Obviously, we didn't give it enough time, and it didn't react positively. But it's not coming out too bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave this here, maybe go play some video games, come back in an hour or two, and throw on another coat. I'm not going to get into sanding. I'm not going to start sanding this thing and giving it coats. I'm just going to give it some time and then spray again. Alright, well, the camera was off. I threw on one more coat of paint. It is okay to the touch now. It's looking more like the car color. If anybody's wondering what this is, it's the back of a Mountain Dew can. Oh, that's a Coors Light can, damn it. It's cut in half Coors Light can. It's covering the gas cap, so water didn't get in there while I'm waiting for the shipment of this gas cap. So with that, I'm going to button the car back up, and then I'm going to go through some of the safety checks and then just drive it around a little bit. I wanted to share those with people just in case anybody is kind of wondering. Things that I check when I'm getting a new car, like brake lines. Go around and check that all the brake lines are, see right here, this is a rubber brake line. Make sure that none of them are broken. You'd normally see a big puddle of brake fluid, and also you have a brake fluid reservoir up front, but it's good to just check those and make sure that you have brakes before you go too fast. Make sure your hood latch is operating correctly. The hood's down and it stays latched. Make sure all the wheels are on tight, so check all the lug nuts on all the wheels. Test the radiator, so let the car warm up and make sure that the radiator is holding water. Test that all the blinkers and all the lights work. And I also like to, if I possibly can, get under the hood and test that the steering wheel and the steering column is all in one piece and looks legit. I mean, there's no reason that a car like this wouldn't be, but just make sure nobody's fumbled with anything or fouled with anything. You don't want to buy a car that somebody maybe messed with the steering wheel and then you pull the steering wheel back and it comes off of the car. Something could be really bad. Those are all the things I forgot to do when we bought the BRZ last week, so that was really, really stupid. Anyway, so I'm going to throw the wheel on, button up this rear end, and then get the car on the road. All right, so unfortunately, right after I filmed that clip, I jumped in the car and we filmed from a GoPro, which had a catastrophic camera catastrophe failure. Recorded a bunch of video with no audio, but I didn't want to just throw all this footage away, so I figured I'd just wrap it up here from my living room. Let's see what happened. Okay, so when I went to jump in the car, the battery was dead. That's common with those types of cars. They have an alarm system on them. Don't drive them for a couple days, battery dies. So I jump started the battery. Then the next thing was actually pretty tricky. I went to start the car and I threw it into reverse and it wouldn't grab the reverse gear. I tried a bunch of different things, running it through the gearbox, pushing the car around a little bit, doing a bunch of different stuff. That had me really scared and I didn't remember if the car even went into reverse when I originally got it. Turns out it did. And then I jumped out online and did a little bit of Googling and found out that with those models of the Ford Fiesta, they have a double clutch automatic. I don't even know if automatics can have a double clutch, but that's what somebody wrote online. Anyways, it's an electronic clutch gearing system, and it's pretty high tech because they're trying to get you better fuel mileage, which the car apparently has really good fuel mileage. And what can happen is when the car goes dead flat, it can forget what gear it's in and then not go back in the right gear. So that's what happened. So the solution to that was to just simply shut the car off, give it a second, jump back in the car, turn the car back on, and then go through it through the gears, and it went right back into reverse. So pro tip, if you're ever working on 2013 Ford Fiesta, I hope you're not, but you know, so that scared the crap out of me, not being able to go in reverse. But once I was able to go in reverse, pulled the car out, went around the block a couple times, make sure it was safe, and then I jumped on a medium speed road, 30-mile-an-hour road, and made sure it was safe there, and worked my way up onto the highway. The highway had traffic, so I didn't even go very fast. But I tested the car in all types of different scenarios, and the car turned out great. The transmission is really strange. And it has no power, but that's what you expect from a car gets 40 miles to the gallon. So car turned out great. It is good to go to my brother now, who's going to take it from there straight to the body shop that can repair that hack job that I did. The 3M stickies were interesting to learn that they work. They're still on there and they're working like a charm, so that'll get them for a couple days until you can take it down to the body shop. I hope you like this episode. It's a little bit different. I'm sorry, not every episode is going to be about a BRZ. This is B is for Build. It's just kind of what I'm working on at the time. But luckily I got 2 broken BRZs, so a lot of my time is going to be spent on those. Please check us, well, first of all, thank you guys very much for watching and all the support. I love it. bsforbuild.com is our website. Facebook.com/bsforbuild is our Facebook page. We have a new Instagram handle. It is bs4build on Instagram. You can also follow me personally. It's I'm_Topher. That's what I've been using for a while, and everybody's been following me on there. But we're gonna switch over now to the BS for Build Instagram. So this episode marks the date. Maybe you could be the first one to follow. All the posts are gonna go on both of them. The other one, you'll just get some of my personal stuff. If you want my personal stuff, follow me there too. It's all public. So check us out on there, and if you're watching this video in the future, check out our shop. We got some swag coming your way. If you're watching this right now, keep waiting. Sorry. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'm learning more about YouTube analytics, and likes count for a lot. So if you're a common watcher and you don't always hit that like button, hit that like button. It's going to make the channel grow a lot faster and support me as well as support the channel. Thank you guys very much. Have a great day. Peace.